Hello guys, and Happy New Year to you all. I thought I would start off the year by reviewing the artwork of 2022, as well as some older pieces as well, because over the course of last year, I did quite a lot of digital work, and towards the very end of 2022, I actually started doing sort of like sketchbook pages, but as digital files. And I thought it'd be really fun to do a digital type of sketchbook tour. I did this many years ago with my Paint or Sci files, but I've never really done it with my Clip Studio Paint files, which I now have an abundance of, so I thought it could be fun. First thing I want to get down is that with the Clip Studio app, it shows you everything, like every file that I've ever worked on ever. So you can see that I've worked on some stuff for my previous job, as well as YouTube thumbnails, as well as Sims Instagram posts. Just, there's so much. So I've actually went through it and sorted it out before making this video to the personal artwork folder. I think we should go to the bottom first. We'll see what we can find. Okay, so this is when I first started using Clip Studio Paint. I remember doing the video, and actually I think this sketch was actually in my very first impressions video of Clip Studio Paint. Oh, it's Hide and Daphne! Oh, I do still love Hide's design. I definitely do think Hide needs to be revisited as a character, especially where the character universe is concerned. In terms of Daphne, getting into a bit of Marriner lore right here, Daphne, if you don't know, is Jalul's little sister who never lived. When I say she's an alternate universe character, this is if she would have lived. Some characters have not been updated in years, and they really do need to be reorganised and reshuffled in the new layout of my character universe and the way it works. Next we have Kanara. This was when I was designing Kanara. So fun fact for those of you who have been on the channel for a really long time at this point, Kanara was actually named after my friend Canary Witch. Kanara is actually Hawk's older sister, and she becomes the queen of Verona. In terms of my current artwork, I use a mix between the real pencil and the darker pencil, but I used to just use the real pencil. Drawing characters consistently. Who is she? Because she does not exist. Also, let me just say that these braids on James, like the front parts of his hair, are they practical in any sense? Absolutely not. Then we have Drawing Your OCs. I don't know where the colours are. Where are the colours? Where are they gone? They obviously don't exist, even though I know they do, because this was a Drawing Your OCs video back in the day, and I really liked the final piece of this. I just wish I could see the colours again. Where have you gone? I remember this. This one was the one in the first impressions video where I was actually just doodling over with like brushes for the first time. This was when I was discovering new things about Clip Studio Paint, and oh my god, the magic of this one. I really like the way it looks. Maybe I went a little bit overboard with the amount of textures in the background. Just a little bit. Something that I want to work on over the course of this year is I want to get back some of the texture in my work and stuff like that, and I really want to focus also on composition as well. But one thing that's got lost over time in my digital work specifically is texture, because with digital work it's very easy to just smooth things out, whereas with traditional work you just have to play with the texture. It's there automatically. Oh, this was when I was experimenting with the auto color system that I never used again. Who uses this still? Like, who uses like the autofill color system? I personally don't use it. Like, I take personal enjoyment from actually coloring in my own work and doing it right the first time. You know what they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself. I still like the drawing and the different tones that the autofill got though. It's very pretty. We have a Jemba piece. This is so cute. I remember doing this during a live stream that Jenna hosted, I think. God, we are going back some years. I always put the year underneath my name in my signature that I've done the piece of artwork. fun fact. But that says 2018. There's something off about the faces, and there's just something off in general that I'm not really vibing with. It's not my standard of work. I think it was meant to be this sort of rough piece, because I think by the time I'd finished this piece, technically, I was tired. I wanted to go to bed, but it's still cute. I still love Jalal and Ember. They're so cute. Oh, there's definitely something off about this one, which I don't like. And I can't tell what year this is, because I obviously didn't think it was something to write home about. I didn't sign it. Late 2018, early 2019, I started using this colour as a background colour, because sometimes when you're drawing digitally, the white can be quite harsh on your eyes when staring at it for long periods of time. And plus, it's kind of like drawing on tan tone paper, essentially. You can get more lights and darks that way if you go with a mid-tone. We have Typhee! But yeah, this was like the first instance of Typhee's wedding dress. Lucille and Anthony! Oh my god. I think this was a sketch in my sketchbook that I actually turned into a digital piece. Yeah, something's definitely up with Anthony's head that I don't like here, but you can see the original designs, like the younger versions of them over here, versus what they were pretty much at the start of the Sims series, essentially. Yes, a colour composition that was never fully blended out, never did anything with this, because this was a colour composition for a traditional piece. It's still very pretty though, and I still really like it as it stands. Whether I'll end up doing this or like finishing this off into an actual digital piece, I don't know, but there's also one for the piece Typhee, I believe, as well. But yeah, I remember this being one of my favourite traditional pieces at the time, definitely. I will hopefully in the edit put up a comparison between the two so you can see what the digital colour composition looks like and the traditional final result. Sometimes doing a digital colour composition definitely helps. 2019, and I remember doing this on Christmas Eve. So, fun fact about 2019 is I had a complete mental breakdown on Christmas Day. So the fact that I did this the day before everything just came crashing down, I remember crying at the song that this was based on, Mind is a Prison by Alec Benjamin. It's a song that came out around that time, so this piece was meant to be like super rough and super quick. I think I did this within the process of about an hour or two. Also, zooming in to this piece does not do it any justice. It's one of those pieces that should be viewed from very far away. Ah yes, the collab that was never finished. So this was a collab between me and Jenna that was never finished. It definitely wasn't finished on my side. If it was, I don't know where the final file is, like at all. Like this is the file that I've got. We were never on time with this stuff. But I'm really liking the way Jalal looks in this. Also, like the soft pencil in this is really nice. It's a nice contrast to the harsh black lines that I usually do nowadays. It's nice to see a difference. It's nice to see just how cozy and soft this looks. So this was a little draw this again exercise that was really fun for like the start of a year sort of thing. And I think this was 2019 still. The original drawings of these were done in 2011, and then in 2015 I did a redraw, and then in 2019 I did a redraw. So technically speaking, I do a redraw of these boys every 4 years. And I think this year is the year to redraw them. Where did the time go? I feel like I drew this yesterday. But yeah, these three boys, we have Jordan, Thomas, and Drayton, I think. Okay, so this was a colour composition for a competition entry that I did. And I didn't win anything. I just decided to test out my Daniel Smith watercolours with these. I think this composition appeared in my Daniel Smith watercolour video, along with the 2 other accompanying pictures for this. So let's see if we can find those. So they were for 3 poems. So this one was for a poem called The Trick. This one was for a poem called Wild Nights. And I really like the depth and the composition of this. And even how unblurred it is in the digital piece. Like, there's definitely a dynamic to the unblended colour compositions that just gets lost in the final pieces, for sure. And then this one was for The Good Morrow. And I don't think I had any colour composition for this, and I just actually winged it in the final piece. Then we have some webtoon fan art. This is for the comic Sub-Zero. I love Sub-Zero, but I have not caught up with it lately. I need to. But yeah, in my commission examples, I actually used this as one of my commission examples, as well as the next one that I'll show you as well. I also do traditional commissions as well, and I do prints and art books as well. Not sponsored, I just wanted to plug my shop. This next one is fan art for the webcomic done by my friends Tatty and Candy, and this was a piece done in 2020. Also a piece that I've used as an example for my commissions as well. But the comic that Tatty and Candy do is called Happiness Is You. I really need to catch up with their comic. I am so far behind with their comic, and it feels illegal. And the fact that even now I still use this piece as well as the Sub-Zero piece as my commission examples tells you how I feel about them. Like, I still really like these pieces. I do actually have a separate file of this where it's just the sketch, but I thought it'd be pointless to show you because it's pretty much the same drawing, just this one has colour. So why not just show this one? This one is of the character Lilia from the Instagram Designs My OC video series, and she's actually been added to the main plot of Marriner now, in the Mariposa plots, because, you know, she's a Mariposan character. Why not add her to that? I still really like her colours and her design, and she's just super cute. At the moment in the Sim series, she's only just like a little toddler, she's a little baby. So, and I can't wait to have her develop in the story, because when I drew this picture of Lilia, I didn't really know her full personality. It was just literally off the prompts that were given to me through Instagram Designs My OCs. Then we have a Draw This Again. So I remember drawing this piece, like the original for this piece, back in college, 2014. So tell me what you think. Does this one deserve a Draw This Again or not? Or should that honour go to another piece? So I believe that this piece was testing out the time-lapse feature. So as you can see, this one has a time-lapse behind it. Clip Studio actually has a time-lapse feature, kind of like Procreate. However, the only issue with Clip Studio Paint's one is that you have to select to record the time-lapse before you start drawing, because if you do it halfway through, it will just start halfway through the drawing from when you press record. This is supposed to be of Lucille. So here is the colour composition for Tyvee. Now, I really like this. I really like how the final piece came out in the watercolours, but I also really love the way this looks as well. It just looks so interesting. There's so much texture. It feels like it's kind of neat, but it's really not, especially when you look really closely. It's also one of those ones where you're just like, don't look too close. It's got an atmosphere to it. Even the original watercolor piece that I did for this has an atmosphere to it, but it's kind of different. It's a little bit more calm. The digital color composition for it has its own feeling, and it's still just as pretty. I still really like it. Okay, so this is a piece I never finished, and I really don't like it. This was actually supposed to be a commission example. It's never gonna be a commission example. Put it that way. This piece just radiates wonk. It's wonky as all hell. And I know that it's wonky, it's bad. I mean, I like Brandon's smile and like his hair in this, but like the rest of it, I was trying to fool myself into liking this piece originally. Ah yes, around this time I drew so much Brandon and Lucille. I'm surprised people weren't sick of Brandon and Lucille at this point. They're really really, really cute. I was working on their story at the time, and whenever I'm working on a particular set of characters or I'm focusing on a particular set of characters, I'm like, I want to draw them, and I want to draw only them. So here, get a ton of development for these characters, but absolutely nothing for the rest. So I was looking through the layers because I was like, wait, there's one more layer here than there should be. These are the drawings from that hidden layer. I really like that drawing of Lucille. It's so cute, like the one that's labelled. Oh, we have a picture of Loki. I think this definitely has a speed paint to it. But yeah, you can see the drawing and the line work process, as well as the colouring and the shading and the highlights, and oh, it's pretty. I like it. And it's still a good piece, and I still actually have the little video, and I could post it as a reel at some point. So look out for that. I know I've posted this to TikTok before, so it could go on my YouTube shorts as well. Also, I want to know, what do we think of shorts? Oh, this one was my very first commission from Etsy. So when I first set up my digital commissions, this was the very first one that I got through Etsy. I think this one also has a time lapse of it as well. So these two characters, so the elder two characters, are actually from Mira Ray's series. I really like the blend of colours in the background. I think it's just really, really soft and pretty. And the baby's really, really cute. I think the only thing that I would change is probably the length of that leg or the foot. It feels like something does not add up. It does feel a little bit off, but other than that, it looks fine. It's a very nice commission. For my very first commission on Etsy, I'm very happy with this. And the customer was really happy with this as well. So this is another commission. I actually got 2 commissions from this person, pretty much back to back, which was so, so lovely. And I would happily do more commissions for them if they wanted me to. They've been a subscriber to this channel for a really long time, and they got around to commissioning me on my Etsy for my digital commissions. And I just really enjoyed drawing their characters. This character's name is Spell, I believe. So this was the other commission that was requested. I remember going so freaking ham on these roses. Oh my god, I don't think I used a brush for these. I went ham. I love her aesthetic. Her hair kind of reminds me of Draculara from Monster High, which is not a bad thing. But, it's a lot. Her design is a lot. So here we have some early concepts for the Thomas the Tank Engine in my style. So like the childhood Draw This in Your Style series. I do plan on having more videos in that series because I do feel like it's something that needs to exist. But the picture on the left is like an early concept from wanting to do Thomas and the Magic Railroad sort of poster, like a recreation, but like a humanized version of it. And on the right, we have expressions of Thomas. I probably could have pushed some of those expressions further, but the goal was just to get an idea of his face, and I was just messing around at this point. Then we have the final images of that Thomas video, because of course I did in my style, and then I did it completely in my style by going the humanoid character route. My favourite thing is definitely the noughties era strap-on heel wheels that were trying to be Heelys but were never Heelys. So now I'm going out of order because I'm loading multiple files at the same time, but I just discovered that this piece actually has multiple pictures in the same file. But yeah, this one is of Brandon. Then we have Sparrow and Holly Blue. Oh, this one's so pretty. I love Radiant. I just love the characters and the way they're looking at each other. Oh, it's so, so cute. I love it. I think if I had to change one thing, I'd probably change his eye on the one side because it looks a bit janky, but apart from that, I think it looks good. And the last one is of Lucille. I don't know which one I did first in this file, to be fair. I cannot remember for the life of me. If I had to hazard a guess, it would probably be Lucille first. Oh, a very unfinished piece of Isla. Lovely! And this one is a very unfinished piece that I was going to do, and this was started November of 2022, I believe, because I had recently got into Death Note, the musical. But yeah, there is a Death Note musical, and the songs. And I think this piece is supposed to be of Rem, Misa's Shinigami. And this was supposed to be playing with foreshortening. I don't know whether I succeeded that well. It's okay. You know what though? It reminds me of my character Skylar, like a lot. But it's supposed to be of Rem from Death Note the musical. Like a more gothic Skylar. Then we have the Breathe Draw This Again. It is probably one of, if not my favourite Draw This Again piece I have ever done. Underwater photography, for me, has always been something just like so magical. I just can't describe it. It's always something that I'm constantly favouriting on my Pinterest boards because I'm like, yes, this aesthetic, please give it to me. The flowy, mystical, magical nature of it. It can also radiate different atmospheres as well, depending on the feeling of the model and the context behind it. So it can also be quite macabre. It can be quite sad. Underwater photography has just always captured my imagination, and the fact that this is one of my favourite Draw This Again pieces is just the icing on top of the cake. Then we have some stills. I think these stills, not all of the stills are actually shaded in. There's hi, there's explain, there's love this, there's laugh. Oh, I like that. That's fun. That is fun. Okay, that's an interesting one. For the amount of stills that I've made so far, I haven't really used them, so... Then we have more from when I was trying to do stills. I still might even use this for my icon. I think it's really, really cute. Okay, so this is 2022. This is Encanto fan art of Bruno. I was in awe of the animation for the Sands of the Future scene in Antonio's room. Just, oh, it was so, so good. I was like, I have to do fan art of this. It's amazing. And this was definitely after I had experimented with several different ways of like layering different brushes and layering different effects while I was doing stuff for my job at the time. A lot of the skills that I got while I was in my job were transferring over to my personal artwork at the same time. So this next one, I never finished this, but I've always really, really wanted to finish this. This is one of the good ones that I just did not finish at all and have never gotten around to finish. At this point, I think I might even redraw it. This is actually based off a really old screenshot that I took in The Sims. It's one of my favourite scenes. It's of Brandon and Lucille cooking together. Lucille can't cook for anything. In the folders, I found this really cute little doodle of Lucille that I kind of coloured. It was just hiding in this like unseen folder. Oh, this too, okay. Like, this was like the first pass sketch. Okay, interesting. I never know what I find in these digital files. Just, it's a treasure trove of what did I do while I was drawing. So this is a commission from Mira Ray, one of my most favourite creators on YouTube. It's her Sims Royal Family series. I really, really like it. A lot of drama, a lot of tea, a lot of binge-worthy content right there. It really is like a TV show, and I enjoy it so, so much. And the fact that she commissioned me to draw one of her characters was just a joy, a dream. But yeah, I love the little details and the little sparkle effects, and oh, it's so pretty. If you want a commission like this, they're available on my Etsy. Then we have Anthony and Michael. I love them so much. So Michael is actually a character from the 3rd episode of Instagram Designs My OCs, and he has become a love interest to Anthony. So how they meet is that Lucille hires Michael to be her royal baby photographer. So she has some children and he becomes the photographer, and that's how they meet. And I love this crystal effect that I did in the background. It's so good. Oh, it's so pretty. Just ignore the fact that it is a completely different day and I'm sitting here looking like a marshmallow in this Udi. Then we have Veronica. Now Veronica is a queen of Verona and Solaro. Solaro is basically a sun kingdom that merges into Verona, whereas the moon kingdom, Le Luna, merges into Loca. But here is 2 files of Veronica, and these pieces were basically done as a precursor to a Marriner Arch piece under the theme of sun. And this is the piece in question. I love this piece so much. It's so sparkly and the colours just, oh, it's so pretty. I think a way to improve this piece would definitely be to study the direction of like the way the head looks, because it looks a bit weird. I don't know, it looks a bit odd, but apart from that, I actually still really like this. It's really pretty. But oh well, we live and we learn, and it's definitely a proof of concept at the very least. There's actually a matching one to this, and it is Moon, and this is Leiluna's piece. So the previous piece was Sun for Solaro, the Sun Kingdom, and this one is Moon for Leiluna. This character here is Loki's mother, River, and she has moon powers. I really love the contrast and the lighting effects on this. It's so pretty. It's just got such a sense of depth. And I know for a fact that I did use a reference or like at least a 3D model for the hands on this one. So this one doesn't feel as janky as the previous one. As for Marriner Arch as a whole, I didn't finish it. I wanted to finish it, but it never ended up happening. But this character, her name is Yulia, and she's the Queen of Mariposa. She's my butterfly queen. I really love the atmosphere of this one. It's so pretty. And the colour palette, it's so calm and serene, but you can tell that there is darkness in it, especially with the withering wings and the worried expression on her face. Then we have a picture of Jalal. It's been a while since I've actually drawn Jalal, to be fair, and I really wanted to draw the character again to kind of compare the old designs together. Now originally I was actually going to make this into a video, so like the Meet the OCs kind of video. I still have the footage for this, I think. I'm gonna have to double check that. If I do have the footage for this, then yes, I can turn this into a video or like Meet the OCs again. The previous Meet the OCs series was done before the character universe was even thought about, so it would definitely make sense to do some updated profiles and swap out some of the characters that are now less important. Jalal's face in this is so cute. Oh, I really love him. I really love the fiery effect as well as like this scaly effect in the background. So then we have a Marriner Arch piece that was never done, never realised, never really completed in any sense. And to be honest, I kind of lost the inspiration, lost the sense of what I wanted for this piece. I think I would definitely have to redo it or like reconsider a lot of stuff for this piece, but I even got a 3D model from the asset store to try and get a sort of angle. Even that wasn't really helping what I wanted to do with this piece at all. Then we have another commission. This is of Celestial Royals' character Asteria, and oh my god, I love the way this looks. Just, she has like this Victorian style because Asteria's story is set in the Victorian times. She is the Princess of Amarantos. I hope I've said that kingdom name correctly. And she actually has magic. And this was so much fun to do. I love the way this came out, like the effects, the line work, just yes. Again, if you would like a commission, I will leave links to my Etsy down below in the description. And like this watercolor cloud effect in the background, I'm really liking that. And not only that, I love Celestial Royals' story, and I could gush about it forever, as well as add to it as well, because I've helped her write some parts of said story for some of her characters, and oh, I've added tragedy to it. If you read her story, I'm sorry in advance for your feelings. Also, zooming in on this one, I'm not afraid to zoom in on this one because it actually looks good zoomed in. I really like the texture and everything about it. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. So then we have a Marriner Arch piece. This is of Sparrow and Sagini, and this one is called Heal. So one thing that this does not have that I've recently just added, Sparrow's design actually changes a little bit after some events in the story goes down, and he's supposed to have marks on his face. And because I did this before, that change in character design. He doesn't have those marks on the side of his face. The background of this is just so dreamy. So then we have another Marianne Arch piece, and this is of my character Robert Marks. Robert is actually Lucille's dad, and this is kind of a spoiler, I guess, like a spoiler to the Sims series, but he actually goes and turns himself into a vampire to seek some revenge in the story. I'm not going to go any further than that. This Marianne Arch piece's theme was Growl. Now we get into a bunch of stuff that I've started but have not finished. So this first set of drawings are actually of the 4 children of Dune. Currently in my story, in terms of the timeline, there are 4 children of Dune: Matteo, Cleo, Kira and Cairo. This set of drawings is of those 4 as teens, because at the moment, in terms of the Sims series and in terms of the timeline, they are children and toddlers. So I wanted to age them up, see what they look like, and then draw them. So this is Cleo. She's so pretty, I love her so much. Then we have Matteo, but I thought I would do these in terms of the style of my commissions, so that way I could keep up with a good practice and try and improve the quality of my commissions over time as well by using my personal artwork. Then we have Kira, and then we have Cairo. Now this one is not finished, so I wanted to do 2 variants of Cairo, and I have not done that yet. It's why Cairo is like not fully done. But this next one is of my character Zayla. Now Zayla is one of the Akrel princes, and I thought I would draw some Zayla looking pretty fine. He's looking fine. I think if I had to change anything about this, I would say I went a little bit ham on like the pink effects on his skin a little bit, but I wanted to give some color variation. So I was experimenting with adding different tones in different places and the water's lighting bouncing around on his skin. I think I would also change some of the colors of the line work as well to like make that effect a bit more prominent. Then we have another Marianne Arch piece. So this one is for Fate, and this one mainly was because of the caption. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much about the story that happens, because my artwork tends to lean into the story aspects of each of the characters, but essentially the fates of this little girl and Pieris are tied together. And this is actually the toddler version of Lilia from earlier on in the video. So Pieris, a Mariposan prince and Yulia's little brother, actually meets Lilia. In terms of in the story right now, Lilia has been orphaned in the story, which is really, really sad. And Pieris is there to comfort her and just be there for her, and it's so sweet. Like in terms of the background, I think I used the same gradient, but I flipped it on either side just to like give that reverse gradient kind of feel to it. Then we have a picture of Lucian. Lucian is Spiro and Neva's little boy. I really like drawing him in his little cape. His heterochromia with both of his parents' eye colours, just, I love him. He has ice and fire powers, so Lucian is definitely one of those characters who is scared of his own strength, and he's scared that he's going to hurt people. He does not want to hurt people, especially the people he loves the most. So then we get on to my icon. This is my new icon. I don't know whether anybody noticed my new icon or whether it's good, whether it's bad. I like it. Whether I'll do a new icon entirely, I don't know, but like this was the one that I changed to, I think, towards the end of last year. Then we have an unfinished piece of Sparrow. In this one, Sparrow has his wings destroyed, and I have not completed this one at all. Oh, it just gets worse. Then we have a piece of River. This one does not have shading, but it does have base colours, and I did do some of this on a previous live stream because I feel like this piece could be really, really nice if I actually finished it. Then we have 2 portraits of Yumi and Micah. So Micah is the Crown Prince of Verona right now, and Yumi is his fiance. This was done in September. These felt like they were done like last month, not in September. Just where is the time going? In November, I started these sketchbook style pages just to get myself drawing more because I had a lot of ideas in my brain and they just weren't getting sketched in my traditional sketchbook. So I thought that I would do them digitally. So over here we have a picture of Sophia and Silas. They are two characters that are a part of Celestial Royals' story, and Sophia is my character, and she's actually a princess of Verona. So in terms of how mine and Celestial Royals' story connect, it's literally that Sophia is an ancestor of the current royal family, and so I gave Sophia as a character in The Sims so she could use Sophia in her story. And I love Sophia, she is so cute. Also, Silas in Celestial Royals' story is baby. He is the baby boy. So we have Silas and Sophia dancing. I think this was a warm-up that I don't know of. Then I was thinking of animatic ideas. I'm actually going to start working on animations and trying to improve my skills animation-wise because yes, I love drawing, but I still have a very basic understanding of animation. But late November is around the time that I was starting to get the itch to do some animatic ideas. I have had the itch for it in the past, but like it came back with a vengeance in November of 2022. This was kind of like a scene idea where you can see that the camera would follow these two around. And it's for Kai and Marriner. Kai being Loki's son, and we have a sketch of Marriner. So the next day I did several sketches. So up here we have two different views of sort of the same pose, I guess. So this is of River, Loki's mother. Don't ask me what this is supposed to be. I think I was just playing around with lighting and colour and like some of the texture as well. I love it. I even wrote that I don't know what it is. But I really like the way it looks. Just, it's so pretty. I was trying to practice perspective. Whether it worked is up for debate. And then there is a doodle of Tom from Ed's World because Ed's World is a huge inspiration for wanting to start back up animation again. Also, something that I noticed with the Ed's World style is that the three main characters, sometimes four because, you know, Tord, if you know, you know. But something I noticed when drawing the Ed's World style is that they should not have eyebrows. Like the main cast do not have eyebrows. People outside the main cast do have eyebrows. I've drawn eyebrows here, but really speaking, there should not be eyebrows. That was something that definitely stood out to me, and the fact that they have so much expression without even using eyebrows is insane. Okay, this was done on the 23rd. I thought I had them in order. Obviously not. Alessia is Spiro's youngest child. I will not reveal who Warwick's parents are because that is a spoiler, like a huge, huge spoiler, but some people already know, and the people who know are in my Discord server. But Warwick is a really fun character. We love him to bits. Warwick is a flirty, charismatic doofus who is also incredibly clumsy. He is accident prone to the max. So these two pictures, this one of Typhy and then this pose that I drew, these were kind of based off the concept of Hanahaki disease where you choke on flowers of unrequited love. It's a fictional disease. The 27th to the 29th of November, up here I was just testing out curls and different ways to do curls. Then we have some Sophia and Silas content. Yes. So Sophia is actually an ice skater, so I did a picture of Sophia ice skating. She looks so, so pretty. I love her so much. And then we have like a little scene up here. Whether this will happen exactly like this in the canon of Celestial Royals' story is yet to be seen, but I'm not going to say too much about this because, you know, I don't want to give too many spoilers to another person's story. But this moment is incredibly bittersweet in terms of the story, and definitely is a lot feelier if you know the context. The first pass at a new version of Mariana's map. This is a bigger version of Mariana's map, and you can actually see where Leiluna and Solaro would have been, and how they got swallowed up into Loka and Verona. I've changed up the shape and some of the placements of certain kingdoms, just so they make a little bit more sense. Over here we have Artro, Henlon, Navern, Halley, Huxley, Farley, and Wire. And Quillo is down here. On the previous map, Quillo wasn't added because at the time of creating that old version of the map, Quillo did not exist. We have a little bit of a spoiler here. I'm not going to say when it's happening or how it's happening, but Sophia gets kidnapped at some point. And this is a scene of the aftermath of said thing. So this was more of a case of playing around with 3D models, playing around with composition, as well as lighting, more so than an actual full-on art piece. So yes, it's not really my usual caliber of work, but it was like a fun experiment just to see how things would go together, as well as using the 3D models on Clip Studio Paint. It's always good to get practice in where you can. And then I did a picture of Silas. So this is Silas's reaction to Sophia getting kidnapped. He is devastated. So this was my first pass at his expression. And when I live streamed previously, I did a revised version of it to just try and make the perspective a bit better, as well as like the expression a little bit more clearer between before and after. Then we have a picture of Tord from Eddsworld. This is like slightly more in my style than it is Eddsworld, but I had a lot of fun drawing him. This is supposed to be Sonia, Lucille's mother, and then on the right we have Robert, which is Lucille's dad. I wanted to do these in the style of commissions. This little sketch is supposed to be of me. You can tell that I have bags under my eyes in the sketch. I've been suffering with insomnia. It's not been pretty. Then down here, we have some Eddsworld style versions of myself. So I really wanted to have a go at drawing the Eddsworld style. And well, the style is more so kind of like a mix between Eddsworld and mine. So it's a hybrid style. I do think the original sketch, which is on the right, has more of an Eddsworld quality to it, whereas the colours, you can tell, is more my style. Lastly in this video, we come to Christmas Eve, and this is where I finally decided, you know what? I wanna start with animation. Like, animation, yes, give me that. I basically wrote down ideas of animations that I would like to do, and I'm going to reveal that I am actually working on an animatic for Panic Room for my character Sparrow. Now you can see that it is actually on this list. Will I be doing everything on this list? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. It really depends on how I'm feeling. Jalal's looking a bit sad on this side. I'm sorry, Jalal. I should have made you look more happier. A little picture of Typhee with like a flower crown. And then I think this is supposed to be Pyra, but like I never fully finished it, never fully realised it. Sketchbooks, or in this case, digital versions of sketchbooks, they don't always need to be perfect. But yes, Panic Room is coming, and I am hoping to actually live stream doing some animating as well. I'm really hoping that animating during live streams can also be a thing, as well as doing commissions and other personal artwork during live streams as well. So before I sign off this video, I am actually going to show you my very first animation. Now, people who follow my community posts will have already seen this as a GIF, but this is my very first ever walk cycle, because during university, walk cycles were actually too advanced for said class. So the fact that this is my first ever walk cycle that exists ever, I don't think I did too bad of a job. But yes, with that being said, I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So I hope you stick around in 2023 to follow my animation journey with me. I'll see you guys in whatever I decide to make next. Bye guys!